Right, whatever we do, don't mention them.
You believe in time to sing it loud. Bow down.
I thought your microphone was off, but that's because of the thing. Hello, everyone. It's the 21st, is it, of March already? 21st? The Ides of March? 21st of March, isn't it, Av? Tell us about the Ides of March.
The what of March?
Ides of March.
The Ides of March? Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, welcome to Talking to Arseholes. There are two arseholes here. I'm Steve. Can't think of anything to say. Hen. And over there we have...
I'm watching the wrestling, Mr. Singh.
Oh, he's watching the wrestling. What wrestling are you watching?
I'm watching AEW at the moment. I just get, like I said to you, I'm getting back into it. Not WWF.
You said A is for American. AEW.
All Elite Wrestling. It's about
Is it like a spin-off from WWE, a different company?
No, it's a different company, and then but as I've got into it, there's like all these. You start finding out all these other organizations, and you start watching. And I know it's a bit of a joke here. There's a old wrestling organization that's come. I don't know if to come back, or they've kind of making a new run for it. NWA.
Why is that a bit of a joke? NWA?
Because there was a band called NWA.
Was it a rap band?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If people like rap, that's fine. But I don't really know much rap. And I do. I mean, would you say Storm? I see. This is me not even connecting with the kids. I like Stormzy, but Stormzy's not rap.
He's grime. He's more grime. Is it grime? No, he's not grime. Is he?
He's Maud Grimes. That's another cultural reference.
Is he grime? I don't know. See, this is where I'm not with it. Is he a grime artist?
Well, his mother said he should wash more often.
When I was a kid, one of my favourite wrestlers was Razor Ramon, who passed away this week. His real name's Scott Hall, and his character.
Oh,
Steve,
Scott! Fuck.
Yeah, Scott. His character Steve would not be very acceptable now. Cuban immigrant, and he was a bad guy. He was in WWF, and then he went to WCW, and that's when they had like this big thing in America with WCW against WWF. It was in America, and when I was a kid, it was a big deal.
It was a big deal in 1952.
Well, that's the time you used to watch wrestling, wasn't it? Because we were talking about the British wrestling as well.
WWE was the big one that started, and then this other one.
Yeah, WWF was Vince McMahon's inheritance from his dad, and what he did, he bought out all the smaller wrestling companies, and then he got a TV deal, and then he had WCW, which was the competition, which was owned by Ted Turner, which he was a billionaire. I can't remember the name of the TV network he owned. And they were at loggerheads, so wrestlers would jump from one ship to the other. It used to be a big deal if you left one and went to the other. And Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left WWF and went to WCW, but the storyline they came in with was they're going to take over, and they would like kind of mix things up.
The WWE, though, F or FE as it became, was the big one. But did WCW,
well,
did that actually manage to compete, or did it just get swallowed?
It did compete. He was beating it for a while, but then I think the amount of money that he's spending on it, and the ratings started going down. He actually ended up selling it to WWF, and then he had another one he bought out, which was the ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, which had all like all the blood, but now you got Tony Khan, all Elite Wrestling. Who owns that? It's worth watching. I may not grown up now, but I'm more nostalgic about it.
Can we? Av just said he's grown up now. Av, as we like to call him in the trade, Dildo Boy, has grown up now.
Excuse me.
Honestly, if you've not seen Av live, you need to go and see Av live. When you tomorrow, you've got a gig tomorrow in Brum. Tell us where it is.
Oh, good. I'm glad you asked me that.
I'll ask you again in a minute.
Yeah. It's in City
no,
Centre, Birmingham.
there you go, everyone. Everyone, make yourself good out to the city centre, Birmingham, and say, "Is Av on tonight? Is Av on tonight?"
All you got to do is walk down the look and say, "Where's Av Singh performing?" And I'll tell you.
Yeah, anyone will tell you. Anyone will tell you. You ask them where Av Singh is performing tomorrow. They go, "Oh, not dildo." I go, "Yeah." And they say, "You mean Dido?" No. That's it. You'll be known as the one. You'll have one name.
Steve saw my act a couple of weeks ago, and I've tried to diversify a little bit with some stereotypes of my own.
I thought you could say, Steve saw my act the other day, and I've tried to diversify by actually telling jokes.
That's the trick, isn't it, Steve?
that is the trick. Yeah. But because we were talking before we started to do the show, talking to ourselves, and I said, I was just mentioning it, and I went, and I used to watch the English wrestling, and I'm going to call it the English wrestling, the English wrestling, back in the days of Tally Ho Kay, Kendo Nagasaki, Big Daddy.
He wasn't Japanese.
No, he was from Manchester, I think. Manchester. There were some great characters on the English wrestling. And there is English wrestling now, isn't there? That does the rounds, but they're not. They do more social clubs rather than the big theatres.
There's a few, I think. There's always a few advertising. They're not big. But I think the popularity is coming back up slowly. I think with all this what's coming on TV and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's I used to love going. I used to go down on the bus, the 62, into Digbeth Civic Hall. I was what 12 or 13. I went on my own to go and see the wrestling. I was under 16. I know that.
Did you get the old housewives there as well?
Yeah. Oh man, they were vicious. They were vicious. Handbags and shouting. There was once we had a ref who was awful referee, and like he was getting beat. I think your mate drop kicked him, Isla Sinclair, whatever it is. No, there was a Sinclair who was quite a pretty boy, but it's not the one. You were Georgie, wasn't it? And he drop kicked him in the ring, and then a couple of weeks later he came back as a wrestler, and we all remembered him as the ref that was shit. And obviously now, looking back on it, it was all set up. But man, he got pummeled. A woman actually got in the ring or to the ropes, and was hitting him over the head with her handbag. It was hilarious.
Oh, where's it all gone, Steve? You would have got that these days, would you?
No, where's the gentle violence of old women and handbags?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was looking back, and you watch on YouTube, there's quite a few. You see a lot of old wrestlers getting interviewed, and one I actually got me watching some of his old matches was Handsome George, you say?
I want to say it was I do Gorgeous. I reckon it was Gorgeous George. You talk about it, I'll get you his name.
Well, he was. I was just watching the interview, and he's in his 80s now. But he was. He started off in the UK, obviously, as a wrestler, and then he went to America. I think he became really popular over there with his character, which was and he's not this character at all, but he was very camp. Implied he was gay, but he also, because of his stereotype, the way he performed in the ring.
Be careful when you talk about gay people performing in the ring.
But yeah, I think that's what his style was, wasn't it? But he used to get the crowds like either loved him or hated him, or they were in shock, weren't they? If you imagine in the South in America in the 70s and 80s, he's not going to be very welcomed, is he? With that character.
Although he was hilariously funny though. He was. Yeah. I think people liked John Inman at the time in Are You Being Served? So I think he was actually more liked than loathed.
He was. I think
because also in those times there was baddies and goodies.
Yeah.
And so the baddies nobody liked, like Kendo, even though Kendo Nagasaki was a fucking great wrestler. But yeah, no. So you always wanted the goodies to win.
Well, you got to go back and watch his interviews, because he was talking to this one YouTuber, and he was talking about he actually wrestled Jimmy Savile,
nearly dropped me nuts then.
Yeah, because Jimmy Savile was in wrestling for a little bit in the UK. He's in the
Of
UK.
course he was. And Donald Trump was the one in America. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there you go. And but you've got to watch the interview with him, and he explains, that he beat the crap out of him because he was a nasty piece of work. Yeah, so
He beat the crap out of Jimmy Savile.
yeah.
Oh wow.
As he like, in the ring, you either play ball or you don't, and you can actually hurt them. And he was nasty to him outside the ring, so he's going to show you.
Wow.
So, yeah, so
It is Gorgeous George. Gorgeous George
George.
versus Jimmy Savile in the ring. No, sorry, I'd like to get into English wrestling. I'd like to watch that. I'm not sure. I'd like to watch it live rather than like those naked men sweating and flopping all over in front of you. I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's weird because he's like, even in the 80s and 90s, they said we could talk about this. I don't know if you ever watched the WWF.
Not really.
Yeah,
I know. Can you smell the Rock cooking? Just Incredible. I thought it was a brilliant name. And then of course Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, but
That's all I know.
They had other characters, and you would think. I mean, if you talk about it, they were not very PC. Not very PC. They had a African American, right, large guy, and they made him a character that he's just come from Africa, a tribesman.
Ooh.
Yeah. So growing up, when you're a kid, it isn't registered, is it?
No, of course not.
They used to give these guys characters, and they wouldn't question it because they want to make a living, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a tough job. And so you got.
No, I suppose you would do it, wouldn't you? If they said it's $1,000 every round,
yeah.
you.
And then I think you had. I think which other characters were just kind of stand out. There was I think it was very. There was an era where it was very sexualized. Scantily clad women. It wasn't about wrestling for the women. It's gone away from that, fortunately. Because
Well, you say fortunately, but I wanted to talk about this. I do think women are getting a bit too big for their boots.
oh my god,
Do you know what I mean? It's all about the women now. It's
Well,
all about the women. Women this, women that. What about us men? What about us men? No, I was thinking about it. I was thinking people are getting so annoyed about, but for the first, let's just say, equality is probably the best thing we should be looking at, right? Listen, what about men? What about men, right? Men have put us in this position. Us, and I'm saying us because I'm a man in a way. But no, that's what I wanted to talk about, really. Women are getting far too big for their boots and they should know their place. Not my words.
whose words are those?
Society.
Which society are you talking about here, Steve?
The Society of Jim Davidson. Av was telling before we came on that Av, loves Nigel Farage. He wants to marry Nigel Farage and have babies, and they'll be called Av Farage and Nigel Singh, and Av Junior, Nigel Junior, right? But he was watching him on GB News, and I think Av is watching it in an ironic way, but I do feel that it is getting inside his head. Because he actually watched Jim Davidson. Jim Davidson. God bless Jim Davidson. And what was Jim Davidson talking about? Anything healthy?
Well, they're talking about. There's a few things going on here. I started off talking about the awards, BBC, the
the BAFTAs.
The BAFTAs, and they're having a go at how left wing it is, and the jokes are terrible, and they weren't funny, and it's gone woke.
But it's not left wing, it's not terrible, and it's not woke. It is what it is.
It's like any award show with jumped up actors.
No. Not all actors are jumped up.
Only the ones that attend. But that were interviewing as I call him, Derek Cumberbatch,
Oh,
but
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch, and they said he's talking about Ukraine and what's happening is terrible, and he's looking into housing some of these Ukrainians. And then we're talking to the panel, which Jim Davison was one of, and he goes, "It's okay. It's okay for him to say that. Take on the Ukrainians. What about all the homeless vets? Huh? Why didn't he invite them to come to his house?" Right, okay, right.
But did everyone agree with him?
Yeah, I saw a few people nodding their heads. There's only a couple of them. And the guy just Panto, camp guy, who won.
Oh, Thingy Bob, Christopher Biggins, Christopher
was on
Thingy
the-
Bob, Christopher
Yeah.
Thingy Bob Biggins.
He was there as well, and he was agreeing with a lot of what he was saying. I was quite surprised actually.
I don't think people
Um,
get it. I don't think people understand there's a difference between migrants coming over, and I say coming over in a Priti Patel way, not that it's a bad thing, I think it's fine, and people coming into this country illegally, and there's a difference between homeless people and war vets. The difference is 3.5 million people are running away from a country that is being bombed by a madman. I'll say it, he's a madman. And like, we have to do what's right. And that's all it is.
I think no one's going to deny that there should be more done for homeless people.
No,
Especially
I
if
totally
they
agree.
to serve this country. I mean, if you look at what's happening with the way they've treated, even people born here who are army vets. They talk about people from the Commonwealth who are vets. They're not getting their benefits and their entitlements, or even their citizenship in some cases.
But
You
whose
know,
fault's that? Is
Well-
it the fucking Labour government, innit? The fucking Labour government who was in power 12 years ago. Everything's the fucking Labour government's fault.
Well, whoever's
We've got
in
no
power now,
soldiers. Fucking Labour government's fault.
there's all these issues. That's the government's got to take the lead on that,
Yeah.
take responsibility for those. And I think Jim Davidson. I don't know if you knew that the reason the Ukrainians are coming here is because governments asked the public to take them in. The government's paying £350 a week to take them in.
Month.
A month, sorry, is a month, £50 a month to take them in.
If it's 350 a month, I'll have 6.
I was gonna say I was trying to think. I was thinking, could we take some in? But they're talking about you'll realise you think, oh, I'm maybe okay, we can take someone in, but then they say, well, they talk about the actual logistics of it, and
Yeah.
these people are going to need looking after. They might not speak English. You got to be around.
That'll be
them
all right with you.
every. Yeah, I don't know. They're probably saying he takes a shit of jokes all the time. Let's go back. Let's go to Poland. It's better.
Ah.
Not listening to
But-
shit.
The shit. No, but but also, right? But it's not easy. So many people have applied, and God bless them. But they've all got to be criminally checked. The houses, right? That's another fucking thing, right? Right? You can't have a Ukrainian in your house if you don't pass the checks. If you've been a criminal, right? Nobody in the fucking cabinet, Johnson, Patel, Hunt, Raab, would get a look in because they would never pass the criminal checks.
Do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't laugh, but
Go on then.
Michael Gove. That's Michael Gove. Would you take? Are you going to take someone? Are you going to take someone? He goes, well, I've just moved out to my house. I've been just looking for. I've bought another property. It came out after. He's actually divorced. His missus divorced him. He's going through divorce, isn't he?
Oh, so he's got to have a house for him and a house for his wife.
No, he's not. He's not, you just had a divorce. You're not going to be wanting any strangers living around your house, I suppose, even if you had the room, which he probably has because he's loaded.
His wife would say, yeah, those Ukraine women that he had around, that's the reason why we got divorced. He's sleeping with them every night after going to a disco.
Be married to Michael Gove. Oh my God.
No, that's the thing. When you said married, I thought, Michael Gove.
I didn't even know he was married. I was thinking,
And it's not that, and it's not because we think he may be gay. It's because we think it's weird. Why would you marry that?
I'm saying it don't matter what gender you are,
No,
you
that's what I
wouldn't
mean.
be-
But if he was married to a woman, then you'd probably think he was into women rather than like the reason why he wasn't married would be because he doesn't like women, right? If he wasn't married to a woman, I mean, right? You said if she was a woman. Don't make me dig holes, right? But it's not because of his sexuality. It's because he's a weirdo. See you later, Av. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Cheers,
Bye bye.
Steve.
Brownstown, Cleveland is right behind you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe and share this because it will help us. And don't forget to tune in next week, 8 p.m. Mondays. Ta-ra! So